Let's talk about San Diego State. A week ago, boy, that looked like a dark cloud hovering over the Aztec basketball program. Now the winds came in off the ocean and blew the cloud away because Mecun Guth has elected to come out of the transfer portal, come back to San Diego State. I know he's going to go for evaluation in the NBA draft. He's not ready. I talked and I asked around at my network of people in college basketball, and the phrase that was given to me more than by one person is that it dawned on Magoon Guth after he did Zoom calls with at least 3 teams that we know of, that he had a comfort zone with Brian Dutcher. There was a trust in Brian Dutcher's leadership and guidance. And maybe there was a reaction that my success very early on, this is Mecun Guth, is because of Brian Dutcher. And out of loyalty, he's staying at San Diego State. He will get an NIL pay bump, not equal to what he would have gotten at Kentucky. I was also told, it was inferred to me, that he felt really uncomfortable with the pressure points that were kind of directed at him. This is the money. This is who we are. We want you here right now. Make a decision. And that included calls from potential teammates to him beyond the Zoom calls. There's a comfort zone at San Diego State. There's a level of play at San Diego State that he's acceded to. Maybe there's a little bit of concern about maturity of the young man, the level of competition he would be stepping up to, and how he would cope and handle with that. Remember, he's effectively played about 2/3 of one season of college basketball at a mid-major level. This is not the Big Ten Conference, etc. But I just think the pressure points applied to the kid made him open his eyes. I think quiet solitude in his thoughts made him reflect on who Brian Dutcher was, how it impacted him, and maybe he's better served to go forward one more year with Brian Dutcher and see what the next step is like. He could revisit this whole thing next season. San Diego State gets 2 guys out of the transfer portal immediately. The 6'9" shooting forward from DePaul via Wyoming, Jeremiah Olin, pretty good player. They'll develop him in their system. He's got 1 year left. Pretty good point guard who's a California kid, was unrecruited, went to Fullerton JC, wound up at Louisiana Tech. Very good defender, very good assist man, not a great outside shooter, but going into the marketplace to get this second point guard really helps because of the loss of Nick Boyd. His name is Sean Newman. So all in all, in weeks' time, San Diego State's gone from a black cloud till they can now see we get Gwath back in all likelihood, plus we've added 2, and he's still got at least 3 more scholarships he can use if he wants to rent somebody else in the transfer portal. Black cloud has now been blown on over the UCSD basketball program. It's been a tough week. We talked extensively about Eric Olin. My goodness. He's going to make us all New Mexico Lobo fans.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
This is what a great accomplishment for him. The problem is now they've lost all their players. Their top 3 players graduating. Virtually everybody else has now jumped into the transfer portal, which is really sad because Clint Allard, the assistant, gets elevated. He's got an empty room now and an empty roster. That's tough. They're going to have to go back and re-recruit some kids, including his top 2 high school recruits who backed out. I'm not quite sure why Josh Hart would back out from Carlsbad. He knows that assistant coach. He knows the program. He could be the cornerstone, but he said he's going to reopen his recruiting visits. However, it does not mean that Allard can't resales pitch him. It just gets worse and worse on the other hill, the University of San Diego. I don't know what they're going to do. I feel so bad for Steve Lavin. 11 players in the transfer portal. He's lost all but 2. And the question is, even though his name on the business card carries clout because he's had a good coaching career, how does he convince kids to come there or bounce back and transfer in when USD, I just don't think, has enough in the checking account in terms of NIL money? That athletic program is kind of in jeopardy right now. They're not the only small college program that's got issues. But boy, Steve Lavin, he lost everybody last year in the transfer portal, brought all these young freshmen in, played them, had a miserable season. Oh, they 6-23. And now he's got 11 kids in the transfer portal. He's only got 2 that are still in that roster, in that basketball room. So thoughts on Aztecs, thoughts on Tritons, thoughts on USD. I said a lot.
You did. Isn't it interesting because, the exodus to the transfer portal is everywhere, right? I mean, I read that Indiana University lost their entire roster.
Mm-hmm.
You say that, Allard's going to come in at UCSD with an empty room. But then there's San Diego State that keeps their players and, and then Gwath decided to come back. So it's amazing how culture makes such a big difference. Now, obviously, there's a history of winning there, but this is like night and day, and especially comparing USD and San Diego State. At UCSD, I mean, Eric Olin, the coach, left. I mean, if the head coach that recruited you left, I can understand why a player might want to open themselves back up to the recruiting.
I concur. San Diego State, it's about history, it's about legacy, and it's about the man. You realize how many coaches have vacated Mountain West head coaching jobs maybe in the last 3 years? Virtually everybody in the conference except that man.
Yeah, and maybe Leon Rice.
Yeah, and Brian Dutcher's being paid very well, but Brian Dutcher's also got an enormous track record. But as it was related to me, the comfort zone that Dutcher has with his players in terms of what's important, how you fit, how we teach you, and then, by the way, we're going to have all the success. That's an intangible that doesn't necessarily show up on a stat sheet. And obviously, that, as it was related to me, that comfort zone had an awful lot to do with Gwath stepping back, observing, and saying, maybe I'm better served to stay another year with that guy because that guy founded me, that guy developed me, and maybe we can grow further with that guy rather than walking in to a whole new situation, different places, different coaches, different teammates, surely a different conference. Do you think maybe his eye opened and realized maybe I'm not ready to be a Big Ten player or go to the SEC? I mean, it's different than Lamont Butler showing up as a 5th or 6th year veteran who's played in the big time versus Gwath, who's played 2/3 of one season of his college career.
Yeah, well, I mean, even Gwath got hurt in high school. He didn't play much. So, I mean, Gwath is a smart guy and he understands what's going on here, because he could transfer to a Power 4 school and he might be on the end of the bench, might be an intriguing, bench piece where at State he'll start. I just like the idea, not so much that Magoon isn't, I mean, he's in it for the money, of course. I mean, they talked about how his family, was not a family of means. So he wants to be treated fairly. He's going to get paid. But in the end, he's looking for the right fit, just like Dutcher's looking for the right fit. And he's looking for a win-win relationship here. And that's what he's getting. And that speaks volumes to what Dutcher has built there. It's at Montezuma Mesa. So I'm thrilled. And then, by the way, that I read the article that Ziegler wrote about the kid coming over from Louisiana Tech. Yep. And nobody wanted to recruit this guy, but he kept working and working, and he's developed himself into the player that he is just because he loves the game.
He earned it.
Totally.
Okay. Basketball fans, college basketball fans, I want you to respond. Join us here in the Fans Forum chat box. Impressed with what Gwath decided? Do you buy my theory? The intangible about loyalty and obviously the complacency and the comfort zone at San Diego State all played into this. We're going to take some, I'm looking for basketball people to jump on board. Join us in Fans Forum chat box. That's all things hoops.